Hello, 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 and welcome to the channel Scream in Style, where we talk all about horror, and at the end, we create a look from whatever we are talking about. If you are returning, hello, little screamer, mwah, missed you, thank you for tuning in. And if you're new, hi, I am Knuckle. I hope you're doing fantastic. In this video, it will be going into the Evil Truth series, where we pick a topic and we find out its origins. Did its origins lie in something evil or something more benevolent that got twisted into something terrible? The topic is all about Friday the 13th. What do you think whenever you hear Friday the 13th? Personally, for me, I think about three things: tattoo specials, Jason Voorhees, of course, and whenever the planets and stars align just right and the gods deem myself a favorable treat, my birthday. Unfortunately, it's not going to lie on Friday the 13th this year. A little disappointed, but it's okay. I'm sure it'll come around again. And depending on where you're at with Friday the 13th, are you scared of it? Or are you like me and you embrace it and you get excited when Friday the 13th comes around? Let me know. But when you go way back, and I mean way back, Friday the 13th was a foreboding day filled with bad luck
and even death.
Not fun. So go ahead, get yourself a drink, maybe a little snacky snack, and let's dive into this mother. Here we go. The earliest origins I could find was from the ancient code of Hammurabi, a Babylonian legal text containing 282 rules composed during 1750 BC. Remember the saying eye for an eye? Well, now you know where we got that from. Apparently, the text omitted a 13th law from its list of legal rules. However, this is largely thought to be because of a clerical error. Superstitious people sometimes point to this as proof of 13 long-standing negative associations. The other possibilities going forward would be dealing with the gods such as Mars and Venus, tied to Friday as well as Tuesday, who are known for passion and conflict. There is an old Italian saying, "Not on Venus, not on Mars, should you wed, should you travel, nor should you start an art." Another deity tied to Friday is the Norse goddess Freya, which is a divine day to the Norse women, but one that turned around after patriarchal Christianity took over. Even in Jewish culture, Friday was a day to pamper one's wife, as it was considered a mitzvah to try and conceive a child on Friday night. Now, talking about the number itself, the reason could possibly lie in symbology. For example, 3 is the number of holiness, 4 is the number of rationality, 3 plus 4 equals 7, which is the number of magic. 12 is the number of completeness, the number of months in the year, gods on Olympus, signs of the zodiac, and apostles of Jesus. 13 contrasts with this sense of goodness and perfection. Now 12 plus 1 equals 13. This is considered too much. Something complete gets topped. In many fairy tales, there are 12 of something and then another comes and destroys everything, as 12 is a number that comes up all the time, is divisible and easy to work with. But when you add one more, it messes everything up and makes 13 the unlucky number. However, it's said 13 was long considered a divine feminine number, women having 13 menstrual periods in a year. 13 cycles of the moon, considered a feminine heavenly body in Western cultures. But this was forgotten, as it is a holdover from matriarchal to patriarchal society. Spriggs quotes in a Vice article, stating, "Before patriarchal times, Friday the 13th was considered the day of the goddess. It was considered a day to worship the divine feminine that lives in us all, and to honor the cycles of creation and death and rebirth." She continues, "My mother always told me that something good always happened to her on Friday the 13th. On this day, with goddesses' energies doubled, consider the lucky blend of just the right conditions, chemistries, elements, and energies, and work your own magic." To continue the combination of Friday and the number 13, there are 2 legendary origins. The first is it's a reference to the crucifixion of Jesus, which took place on a Friday. He was betrayed by one of the attendants of the last summer, famously being the 13th person at that table. Friday was also said to be the day Eve gave Adam the fateful apple from the tree of knowledge, as well as the day Cain killed his brother Abel. Coincidentally, the same thing happened in Norse mythology, where the god Loki was 13th to arrive at a feast in Valhalla, where he tricked another attendee into killing the god Baldur. The second legendary origin story resides in the Knights Templar. The story goes that on Friday, October 13, 1307, officers of King Philip of France arrested hundreds of the Knights Templar, a powerful religious and military order formed in the 12th century for the defense of the Holy Land. They were imprisoned on charges of various illegal behaviors, but really because the king wanted access to their financial resources. It all goes back to the greed and money, honey. But many Templars were later executed. Because of this, some believe this to be the origin of the Friday the 13th superstition. But with more legend than facts associated with this group and stories attached to them, the credibility is murky. A few little fun facts for you. In the late 19th century, a New Yorker named Captain William Fowler, 1827 to 1897, sought to remove the enduring stigma surrounding the number 13, and particularly the unwritten rule about not having 13 guests at a dinner table, by founding an exclusive society called the 13 Club. The group dined regularly on the 13th day of the month in room 13 of the Knickerbocker Cottage, a popular watering hole Fowler owned from 1863 to 1883. Before sitting down for a 13-course dinner, of course, members would pass beneath a ladder in a banner reading a Latin phrase, "Those of us who are about to die salute you." Later on, an important milestone in the history of the Friday the 13th legend, in particular, not just the number 13, occurred in 1907 with the publication of the novel Friday the 13th, written by Thomas William Lawson. The book told the story of a New York City stockbroker who plays on superstitions about the date to create chaos on Wall Street and make a killing on the market. And going forward, of course, we have the beloved and classic, the horror movie Friday the 13th. Released in 1980, it introduced the world to a hockey mask wearing killer named Jason, and is perhaps the best known example of the famous superstition in pop culture history. The movie spawned multiple sequels, as well as comic books, novellas, video games, related merchandise, and countless terrifying Halloween costumes. Or, if you're feeling yourself, sexy ones. Fear of the number 13 and fear of Friday itself has earned themselves psychological terms, ones that I will not even try to pronounce, so take a crack at it and see if you can. A couple other bits of miscellaneous examples are groups concerned with public relations seem to feel the need to kowtow to popular superstitions. Perhaps owing to the near tragic Apollo 13 mission, NASA stopped sequentially, oh Lord, here we go, numbering space shuttle missions, dubbing the 13th shuttle flight STS-41-G. In Belgium, complaints from superstitious passengers led Brussels Airlines to revamp its logo in 2006. It had been a bee-like image made of 13 dots. The airlines added a 14th. And that wraps up all that I could find for the origins of Friday the 13th. After gathering information, the origins seem to stem from tragedies and misfortunes coincidentally falling on Fridays, corresponding with the number of people and things involved on that day. Even though on the flip side of that, there is an older belief of attaching divinity to the number 13, particularly for women. I, for one, am not a believer in numerology, and from an unknown source, I agree with this person's statement, as it sums up my final thoughts on the matter. They state, I believe socio-cultural processes can associate bad luck with any number. When the conditions are favorable, a rumor or superstition generates its own social reality, snowballing like an urban legend as it rolls down the hill of time. So, little screamers, now it's your turn. Comment below and let me know, what do you believe in all of this? Or what you don't believe in? Do you agree or disagree with my final thoughts on the matter? Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I will see you on the next one. And speaking about the next one, I'm super excited because Jules will be returning with us for hopefully 2 videos, but we definitely get her for 1. So stay tuned for that. Bye bye.